All right, let's talk about one of the biggest questions in the DIY solar world: cheap versus expensive systems. And honestly, the way most people compare them, it's just completely wrong. Let's dive in and I'll show you what I mean.
Take a look at this. On paper, these two systems look, well, identical, right? You've got a 3,000-watt inverter, a 200-amp-hour battery, a 12-volt system on both sides. So if all the main specs match up, what on earth are you paying extra for? It seems like a total puzzle, but believe me, the answer is super important.
And here's the big secret: the real difference. It has almost nothing to do with how much power the system makes on a perfect sunny day. No, it's all about how the system behaves under stress. It's about safety, it's about reliability, and most importantly, it's about what happens when things inevitably go wrong.
So, to really get this, we've got to follow the path of power. It's actually pretty simple, and it's the same for any solar setup, cheap or expensive. The panels make the power, the charge controller wrangles it, the battery stores it, and the inverter turns it into something you can actually use. Simple, right? But the devil is in the details, and at every single one of these steps, there are hidden risks and huge trade-offs. Okay, let's start right at the beginning with the solar panels themselves. Now, it's really easy to think, a cheap panel just makes a little less power. No big deal. But oh man, the reality is so much more complicated than that. See, the real issue isn't about the power they make right out of the box. It's about what happens a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line. Cheaper panels just degrade way faster. Their output drops off a cliff. They perform terribly when it gets hot, and they lose a ton of power if even a tiny bit of a shadow hits them. And the quality control? It can be all over the place. So you're not just buying a wattage number, you're investing in long-term, predictable performance. All right, next up, let's talk about the charge controller. This little box is basically the brains of the whole operation. It's the traffic cop directing all that solar energy. And this, right here, is one of the biggest places where cheap systems cut corners. And it's a corner that costs you free energy every single day. So here's where it gets really interesting. The two main types. The cheaper one, the PWM, it's kind of dumb. It uses a brute force method. It basically just chops the panel's higher voltage down to match the battery, and all that extra potential energy, poof, it's just wasted, gone forever. But an MPPT controller, now that's the smart money. It's way more efficient. It actually takes that extra voltage and cleverly converts it into more usable current. You're literally getting more power from the exact same panels. That's free energy you were just throwing away before.
And now we've arrived at the absolute heart of the system: the battery. Look, this is almost always the single most expensive part of any solar build. It's the most critical piece for performance, and let's be real, it is by far the biggest potential hazard if you screw it up.
The difference between battery types is just night and day. That old school lead-acid battery, yeah, it might say 200 amp hours on the side, but you're lucky if you can use 50% of that without wrecking it. And the second you put a heavy load on it, the voltage just sags. But a good quality lithium battery, like a Life PF4, you can use almost the whole thing, 80 to 100%. It holds its voltage steady, it can handle huge currents safely, and it lasts for thousands of cycles. It's not even a fair fight.
Okay, so performance is one thing, but this is where we get to probably the most important question in this whole explainer. At what point does a cheap system cross the line from just being kind of inefficient to being genuinely, seriously dangerous?
You have to understand this. Batteries don't fail politely. They don't just fizzle out. They fail catastrophically, and they do it under load at the exact moment you're asking the most from them, when you flip the switch on a big appliance and that current spikes. And to give you an idea of the forces we're talking about, look at that number, over 400 amps. That is the kind of current a simple 12-volt battery can unleash in a dead short. It's an absolutely terrifying amount of raw, uncontrolled energy. We're talking enough juice to literally weld metal. And here's the scary part. If you don't have a properly sized fuse, a tiny, cheap component to break that circuit, all that energy has to go somewhere. And where does it go? It goes into the thinnest part of the circuit, the wire. The wire itself becomes the fuse. It glows cherry red, melts, and this is exactly how electrical fires start. Okay, moving on to the final big component in our power path, the inverter. This is the gadget that turns the DC power from your batteries into the AC power your stuff runs on. But that giant number they love to print on the front of cheap inverters, yeah, that number can be really, really misleading.
So cheap inverters will brag about some huge peak wattage number, but the fine print is they can only hit that for like a split second. What you actually care about is the continuous power rating, what it can handle all day long. And even more important is surge capacity. Think about your fridge or a water pump. When those motors kick on, they draw a massive spike of power. A cheap inverter will just trip and shut down or worse, fry itself. A good inverter is designed specifically to handle those big, real-world surges without even breaking a sweat. And that brings us to something that, honestly, most people completely overlook, but it might just be the most important part of the whole system: the wires and the fuses. This is the stuff that connects everything together. And I guarantee you, this is where cutting corners leads to the most common and the most dangerous failures. To really understand why wiring is so critical, you have to get one simple concept: voltage drop. You see, as electricity pushes through any wire, there's resistance. And that resistance, it does one thing: it generates heat. Lost energy becomes heat. It's not an opinion, it's just a fundamental law of physics. More current, more resistance, more heat. And this is where that chain reaction of failure begins. People use undersized wires because, hey, they're cheaper. But thinner wires have more resistance. So when you put a big load on the system, that resistance creates a ton of heat. That heat melts the plastic insulation right off the wire. Now you've got bare copper, and if that touches another wire or the metal frame, you get a direct short circuit. And that's when you get a fire. Okay, wow. That was a lot, I know. So after all that doom and gloom, what's the actual takeaway here? How do you build a system that's not going to break the bank, but is also not going to burn your house down? It all comes down to spending your money smartly on the things that actually matter. So here it is, the cheat sheet. This is what you need to know. Where you spend your money is critical. You absolutely have to invest in a quality battery. That means good chemistry and a good battery management system, or BMS. You need an efficient MPPT charge controller, not a PWM. You need properly sized wires and fuses, no exceptions. And you need an inverter that can handle real-world surges. Now, where can you save? It's totally okay to save money on stuff like mounting hardware or building your own enclosure. You don't need to pay for over-branded components when a generic, properly spec'd one will do. Focus on the core safety and performance. So you see, we need to completely reframe this whole conversation. It was never really about cheap versus expensive. That was the wrong question all along. The real choice, the only one that truly matters, has always been safe versus unsafe. Because at the end of the day, an unsafe system always ends up being the expensive one. Always. Whether it's from replacing fried components, losing all that wasted energy, or something so much worse. And sometimes the cost of cutting the wrong corner isn't just expensive, it's irreversible. So please, think smart and build safe.